Okay, so this is part 2. Where we left off, we were talking about how the first time that I went to court with Angelina's father was November 5th, 2019. I think it's really important to look at exactly what happened in court at each of our court dates to really understand how wrong this situation really is. So I'm going to show you guys the hearing from November 5th, 2019, which was the very first time that Angelina's dad, Matt Lodice, and I ever went to court together. He lies over and over and over during this hearing, so I'll let you guys see it. Watch.
Your Honor, this is a support petition, first time on. Defendant was served at his usual place of abode on October 1st, 2019. I have appearances for both parties and financial affidavits which have been prepared. I'll pass those forward.
Proper service in this matter, the defendant, Mr. Matthew Lodice, was served at usual place of abode, 48 Corey Hill Road, Waterbury, Connecticut, on October 1st, 2019. The defendant is also present in court.
Thank you, Your Honor. If I may inquire?
Okay.
Thank you. Showing you a photocopy of an acknowledgement of paternity for the child Angelina Maria Lodice, who was born on May 21st, 2019. And ma'am, do you recognize your signature in this photocopy?
Yes.
You signed this on May 22nd, 2019?
Yes.
And you name Matthew John Lodice, who's standing to your immediate right, as Angelina's father. Is that correct?
Yes.
Within 60 days of signing this form, ma'am, did you contact the Department of Public Health and say the information is incorrect?
No.
Thank you. Sir, showing you the same photocopy for Angelina. Do you recognize your signature, sir?
Yes.
You signed this on May 22nd, 2019 also?
Yep.
And you understand when you signed this, you took legal responsibility for Angelina?
Yes.
And so within 60 days of signing this form, did you contact the Department of Public Health and say this information was incorrect?
No.
Thank you, sir. Is it all right with both of you? The court accepts this document as proof of Mr. Lodice's duty to support Angelina along with mom.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, stay safe, please.
Court finds the duty to support the minor child, Angelina Lodice, date of birth May 21st, 2019, based on a copy of the acknowledgement of paternity.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Ms. Antar, your child is currently a recipient of Husky Insurance. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you looking for child support today?
Yes, I am. And I also would like to speak with you about the situation with Mr. Lodice's income, because I believe that based on the numbers that he put on the financial affidavit, it doesn't accurately represent the income.
Okay, let's do one thing at a time.
Okay.
So, ma'am, you're looking for current support. Are you also looking for past due support?
Yes.
And my understanding is that you're looking for past due support from the period of May 21st, 2019 through today's date. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that is about 24 weeks. And that's more or less the date that the two of you split up, or?
We were never together.
Okay. But that's the date you're satisfied with that date?
Correct.
Can I object to this, Your Honor?
No, you get a chance to speak, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, this is not television.
I don't
One thing
know.
at a time,
Okay, I'm just curious.
one person at a time, and I get to ask the
One
questions.
person speaks at a time because we have a monitor who needs to record everything
Okay.
that's happening.
Okay. So, Ms. Antar, you're looking for current and past due support, and you're currently employed. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you've completed a financial affidavit which has been submitted to the court.
Correct.
And
I also have more documents I wanted to submit to the
no,
court.
I understand, ma'am. I understand.
Okay.
Please let me do one thing at a time. Your Honor, it does not appear that mother's income has been included in the guidelines. So, if we could pass this briefly.
All right, the court will pass this matter. The state will need to...
Oh, no, I picked up the wrong one.
Okay.
So I don't need the stuff that is incorrect. So I don't need that. And okay, no, that's fine. I just don't need this because it doesn't include her income. So let me inquire of Mr. Lodice. Now, Mr. Lodice, you're currently employed. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what kind of work do you do, sir?
Contractor?
And indoor, outdoor?
Outdoor?
And, sir, are you self-employed or do you work for a company?
Self-employed.
And how long have you been working at this company?
2 years, year and a half.
Okay. Now, my understanding is that you have some, you have another child support order in the amount of $157 a week. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. And you have your income tax records today. Is that correct?
Yes.
And they indicate that you have an income of an adjusted gross of about $13,000 a year.
Yes.
And how many months out of the year do you work, sir?
10 and change.
I'm sorry, 10?
Yeah, about 10 months.
And, sir, how do you support yourself on $13,000 a year?
I live in my mother's house, and my only bills outside of my employment are my phone and my car.
And, sir, you had a tax preparer prepare your income tax?
Yes.
And in your income tax, of course, we all know it's axiomatic that income taxes are prepared in order to allow you to pay the least amount of income tax.
What do you mean?
A lot of times, self-employed individuals have the opportunity to take certain deductions that people who are W-2 employees cannot take.
Yes, because they have other financial obligations due to their business. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, how much on an average in an average week do you bring home, or do you pay yourself?
I mean, that's varies very much weekly.
That's why I asked for an average, sir.
Average. Now you're saying before the deductions?
Before deductions, sir.
About 1,000 a week.
Yes, sir.
Before deductions?
Average. Before
Yeah.
deductions, sir, yes.
1,000.
A gross, about $1,000?
Yeah.
And what deductions do you take out of that?
My car and then office expenses.
And where's your office, sir?
My address.
And you take a tax deduction on your office?
Yes.
Okay. And you have the tax deductions on your car?
Yes.
And what other expenses do you take out of your taxes? Out of what you pay yourself each week?
I'd have to look at the paper, but there's things like office supplies, printer, paper, computer supplies, stuff like that.
So do you pay those as you go along?
Yes.
And are those weekly expenses?
They vary throughout the year. It depends when I need them.
Okay. And what kind of renovations do you do, or construction? Is it new construction, renovations?
Renovations.
And what kind?
I do sales for the renovations.
So you don't do the actual construction?
I don't do the renovations themselves.
Okay. And you're subcontracted to someone else?
Yes.
And what company is that?
That's wait, I subcontract? No, so I do the sales. I'm paid, so I'm a subcontractor for a remodeling company. What I do is I get the bids and I sell the job, and then this remodeling company does the work.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't catch all that.
No, I was saying, so I work for myself as a salesman through a remodeling company. So a remodeling company gives me leads. I run the appointments and stuff, try to sell the job, and then sell the job, and then the remodeling company is the one that does it.
So are you actually employed by the remodeling company?
No.
So how do they determine your remuneration? How do they pay you?
It's a commission percentage based on the total sales of the job.
And does that commission vary from time to time?
Yes.
So, sir, I'm going to show you an income disclosure from Casanova Remodeling Company, which was requested by the Department of Social Services, which indicates that they, as a subcontractor, they pay you $60,000 a year.
Yes. I mean, it was $55,000, but yes.
Well, your income tax is $55,000, but they're saying that they pay you $60,000.
Okay.
Okay. And then let me show you this before I submit it to the court. It is income disclosure that is found as part of the ordinary investigative process that Department of Social Service does. And while they haven't filled out the periods, they do indicate that $60,000 a year. Do you have an objection to the court accepting this?
No.
Ma'am?
No.
States for you, Your Honor. And let me let the court look. Thank you, Your Honor. So, Mr. Lodis, you indicated that you have additional expenses that obviously are not calculated in that wage verification. Did you want to submit that information to the court to show what those expenses are?
Yes.
Okay. So, what are you submitting?
My W-2, which has all the expenses written on there.
Do you have a W-2 in here?
W, excuse me, 1099.
I think that's yours. So these are kind of out of order, sir. You want to put those in order so the court can review them? Schedule C doesn't go on top.
I'm not sure exactly what order this goes in. It's not listed by page number. I don't know what you're looking for an order. I think this one was the first one initially.
Yep, that's top. So that's Schedule 1. That's Schedule C. Schedule C. All right.
Your Honor, do you think this may require such a hearing?
Possibly, Your Honor. This defendant's objection. You have no objection.
I did have an injunction.
I mean, to the court seeing that.
No, not to them seeing
That's
it.
where
But
we
to
are.
what he said.
That's where we are.
Okay.
You want to read back the defendant's social.
Oh, yes, I do. Sorry about that. Yes, Mr. Lodis, how long have you been a subcontractor for this company?
Since March of last year, March of 2018. So
Since 2000 when? Since 2018?
yeah, so 20
So-
months.
Then that would explain why for the year of 2018, your records report a $55,000 a year income. Were they perhaps projecting into 2019 what they're paying you?
I don't understand the question. Can you repeat that?
Well, you said you only started in March. They indicated that you were commenting that your income tax for 2018 reflects $55,000 a year. The wage verification from last month reflects an income of $60,000. Are they paying you more than they did last year?
No. He just put it there as like because he thought it was about 60,000. He probably didn't have the exact number at the time that he wrote it, so he wrote 60,000 because he knew it was close to that.
Okay. And
I don't know that Attorney Lawrence said, states Exhibit B indicates there was a date of hire of 2016 to current
the date of
on the income disclosure.
There is a date of hire.
Indicates he's a subcontractor, 1099, and earns $60,000 a year.
That's wrong. I wasn't hired in 2016. I didn't start there till last year.
So that's what the income disclosure form indicates.
That's not accurate. I mean, he must have wrote it wrong. I mean, we can. We're in 2019, right? Yeah, I started last year.
And sir, you indicated you work about 10 months out of the year?
Yes.
And what do you do the other 2 months?
Well, hopefully find some kind of work or just mostly hang out with the kids. I don't get to see my other children as much during this work year because I'm always on the road and doing things. So usually these 2 months, I change my visitation with the children with my ex-wife, and I see them a lot more.
As an independent contractor, what exactly do you do for Casanova?
I sell the jobs. So if you needed a new roof for your house, you would have someone like me come in. I would measure it out, price it. You would say yes. I would take all the information, write the contract, sign up for you, and then pass the information along to the remodeling company, and then they would do the work.
And sir, what is your area?
We do all over. I do Mass, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Vermont, Rhode Island, basically from Maine all the way down to Pennsylvania.
Okay. I have another question for this witness at this time, Your Honor. I may inquire of Mother. Ms. Antar, you indicated you are not in agreement with the defendant's claims. What information do you have as to his income?
Okay, so just to clarify, Matthew is a salesman that he's employed by Casanova Remodeling. So I'm also employed by Casanova Remodeling. We're both paid as 1099 independent contractors, but we are employed by that company. He has business cards with his name on it from Casanova Remodeling. He's one of the salesmen. We have a group chat with the owner and all the salesmen. I'm also in the group chat. They post their sales. He gets a commission, which doesn't vary. It's 10% of the total sale that's up to their par, plus 50% of everything above that par. I have
10% of the total sales
of the par, and then
what
anything.
is that?
So, like, let's say on a roof, his par is 8,000, and he sells it for 8,000. His commission would be 10%. He would make 800. If he sells it for 10,000, it's 2,000 over par. He makes 50% of the overage. So if he sold it for 2,000 over, he'd make an additional 1,000 on that sale. I have his sales sheet for 2019. Like I said, I'm the office manager. I handle everything in the office. This also was updated recently, and it shows all the checks that he receives, and he gets every check up front, plus a last check that he received, which was for $67.07. So as of this year to date, he's received and taken home $71,753.25. His income projected for the end of the year with what's owed to him is almost double what it was last year, because this year he's worked a full year, whereas last year, like he said, he didn't begin until March. I also have a deposit slip from the last check that he received that was for $67.07. In terms of his expenses, the boss actually pays for all of the hotels, all of the travel expenses, the gas, the mileage. The boss reimburses us for all of that. And if you'd like to subpoena him, he said that he has no problem coming to court and clarifying any of this information, because I did speak to him about this already.
Okay, so back up a little bit. You're getting a lot of information.
Sure.
So how did you come about that information that you're holding?
I'm the office manager for Casanova Remodeling, so I actually printed it out. And
So that is information that you would normally have available to you?
yes, and
Do
I
you have that information for all employees?
correct.
Okay. And now you were saying you printed that out. When did you print it out?
This one was from the end of September. So this was from September 23rd. But like I said, since then I added the other ones that came in.
Okay, so the printout is as of September 23rd, 2019, and you've made additional handwritten notations.
Yeah, for each sale.
Well, let me finish my sentence now.
Yep.
Made handwritten notations bringing it up to what date?
Up to current of what he's taken home
Okay, current being what? Last Friday, this Monday?
last Friday.
Okay, so that would have been November 1st.
Correct.
We're telling the court a story, so we have to make sure that all the story is clear on the record.
Okay.
Okay? That's why, the questions may sound kind of silly, but there's a point to them.
Okay.
All right. So, ma'am, you were also indicated that the defendant is reimbursed for gas and mileage, and what else did you say?
Hotels. Also, he doesn't have to pay anything for the printing. He doesn't have an office. He lives at home in his mother's basement. There's no office there.
Okay, let me ask that specifically. Does he have an office on the premises at Casanova?
No, he does not.
So, did the two of you ever live together?
No,
Yes.
we did not. He spent time staying at my house, but he's been living at his mother's house in his mother's basement.
Okay.
I
live
live
with each other.
alone with
Ma'am,
my
sir,
children.
sir?
Another time.
Sorry.
You'll get a chance to respond, sir.
Okay.
So, you're not aware of whether or not he has a desk at his mother's house that is committed to this work?
He does not. He has a desk in his room in his mother's house, but it is not an office. Most of his work, what he does is he goes out to each appointment. He brings a contract with him. If he sells the deal, he signs the contract. He brings the contract back to our office, which is located at 269 Main Street in Terryville, which is the property is owned by the owner of the company, John Casanova. It's an office that was just opened earlier this year, back in, I want to say, April, he opened it. And so in that office, he has a conference table. He has 3 printers, computers. So Matthew, along with the other sales guys, will come in. They'll print their pictures. They'll get their materials, anything they need, coffee, water, everything is provided by the owner. Every time that Matthew has a toll, the owner will reimburse him. Every time he gives him a certain amount for gas, he also gives him, the hotels are always paid. So every expense that they have is provided by the employer. He doesn't have any other purpose of having an office because he is employed by Casanova Remodeling. And I, as the office manager, handle the calendar for all of the salesmen, including Matthew. I have a Google Calendar on my phone showing the past, 3 months of appointments he's run and all of that. Every time there's an appointment, I'm the one who sends it to him along with the sales manager because we're both managers for the company. So, it's pretty straightforward where, he has his boss that's the sales manager and I'm the office manager. The sales manager and I work together. We hand out the appointments. We give them the appointments. And then he has a chance to run it. If he sells it, he hands in the contract to the boss, and then he gets, half of his commission up front. The other half when the job is done and is completely paid for. So that's why he calls it in the pipe. Whatever he has in the pipe is money that's still owed to him for the rest of the year. And so this year he's made significantly more than he did last year. And, as you can see with all these checks, including this most recent one, it's ridiculous to say he makes $13,000, which then how are you eating? How are you doing any of that? He's lying about his income and trying to use the 1099 as an excuse. Which is why I think we should go by, this sales information here. The number I have is he's made $71,753 taken home that much this year so far.
So, ma'am, just one question.
We're going to need a special hearing.
Yeah, I think so. If we could have a transcript of this and continue this for a special hearing. I did have one other question, ma'am. Mr. Lodi's reported that he only works about 10 months out of the year. Is that your understanding? Is that correct?
Not technically, because it's not like he's officially laid off, but during November and December, it's kind of slow where there's really not many appointments going around. But he's still on call. If they had an appointment, they could still call him and say, hey, you want to take this, and he can do it. So it's not like he's told that he can't work at all. It's just we don't really have much business in the Christmas and Thanksgiving season.
Anything else, Mr. Lawrence?
That's it for this time, Your Honor.
The court is going to set this matter down for a special hearing because it's going to take more time than the court has today on today's calendar. Give you a chance to both present your sides of the case, and so the court can be more thorough and make an informed decision.
Okay.
At the hearing, you're welcome to bring any witnesses you might have to testify on your behalf.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Same with you, sir.
the AG need to be present for this matter?
It's our petition, so yeah.
So would you like a U.S. today, Tuesday, or Thursday? Or Friday?
Well, my problem is that I guess you could put it on a UIPSA day in the afternoon for Attorney Guido, because I have UIPSA in Waterbury.
All right, let's do it 2 o'clock.
All right, we'll do,
Leave the whole afternoon.
December 2nd, Your Honor.
As long as we have the transcript there so that Attorney Guido and the court can review it.
All right, December 2nd, 2 o'clock.
All right, this matter is continued to December 2nd at 2 o'clock for a special hearing. Okay, again, between any and all documentation that you might have, or any witnesses that you may
Okay, Your Honor.
that you want to call on that day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank